So nice to meet you, Tina. Thanks for coming. Now, I understand that you've got some problems with your skin, mainly pigmentation and a few lines and wrinkles.
Yes.
And so can you just tell me a little bit about your history? What's happened to your skin?
Okay, I love sunbathing, and I had a sunbed at home which I used maybe 3-4 times a week. So
How long did you do that for?
I would say probably 5-6 years.
All right. So what are you looking for?
For my skin to look fresher, smoother, the fine lines around the mouth and down here, around the eyes, and the sun damage that I can see. I would like it more even.
And so have you had any treatments before?
I've had a few skin peels, more superficial.
And downtime, have you considered that? So if I said to you today that I've got a treatment that might help you, but it might mean that you need to have a week where you can't really go out and party.
So long as I can plan it, that would still work for me.
Okay, so maybe smaller treatments over a more
yeah.
frequent. Okay, all right, that's great. So what I'm going to do is take a picture of you. We can actually have a look at the pigmentation that you have and also the wrinkles that bother you, and then we can actually select the treatment that might be most appropriate for you. Let's pop you in here. So your chin is coming down onto here, and if you look to the back of the booth. So I'm going to take 2 pictures. Keep your eyes closed. First picture's coming now, and then there'll be a second. You can come out. Lovely. Okay, so we'll analyse this, and then it will show us the amount of ultraviolet damage that you have. We can determine how deep the wrinkles are.
Okay.
What this is showing me is it's showing me anything that's raised or indented in the skin that's actually creating a protrusion or an indent bigger than a single pore. And so this also tells me how you're faring against 2,000 of your peers. So it's telling me that you're not as good as some others, but it's not terrible. Okay. And then what we really want to look at is the ultraviolet. So on this screen here, everything that's actually highlighted in orange is sun damage. And so even if you were putting a sunblock on every single day, there's still an element of this that's going to come out. Some of this will be old, some of it will be relatively new. And so this is where you've burnt yourself in the past. And then if we actually just have a look at this one here, which shows up more, so you can see all of these freckles. And is that what you mean? Is that the colours that you actually see that you don't actually like?
Yes, that's correct.
You've also got some red on your cheeks, which we can actually look at here. And so again, when you age, the skin becomes thinner and you start to see some of this redness. So it's called dyschromia, red and brown. And they compete with each other, but they give us our skin that used to be flawless, an uneven kind of look. So is that the thing that you're kind of concerned about?
Yes, absolutely.
And then when we look at the wrinkles, so we're picking up these lines here, which are natural because people frown, but you were more concerned about around here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can actually help with those. So when I look at you, the treatment that actually comes to mind as most appropriate for both of these things, which is wrinkles and also your pigmentation, is something called FRAXEL. FRAXEL is a device that has 2 wavelengths. One of those wavelengths is 1550, and I don't expect you to understand all of this, but I'm going to tell you how it works. So the 1550 is designed to go deeper into the skin, into the dermis, the living part of the skin. And when you actually target, depending on what depth, you will actually stimulate collagen and you will actually get a plumping of the skin. So in effect, the line and wrinkle will soften. And so it will bring back that more youthful appearance, because when we think about youth, we think about round and we think about plumpness, and that skin in effect has lots of collagen in it when we're younger. And some of the sun exposure that you've had will have actually damaged that. And then the other wavelength, which is the same, it's FRAXEL. FRAXEL has two wavelengths, is the 1927. And all of these marks on the face, we can help to clear. And so this leaflet here just shows you how it works. And so with the 1927, it's looking for pigmentation on the surface. And what we want to do is actually remove as much as we can in one treatment. And so in effect, you could treat the face and get maybe 50% reduction in pigmentation. And for some people that's enough, because it means they don't have to put so much makeup on and they just look fresher. But there is some downtime. So this particular wavelength is actually creating dryness to the surface of the skin. And as a result, the skin takes on a look that almost as if you've been in the sun, where it goes dry, it increases in pigment, and it looks a little bit red, and then it starts to peel. You've ever been in that state?
Yes, I have.
And so this is immediately after, and you can see all the freckles have got darker. The next day, it starts to get darker still, and it starts to rise in the skin. So all of the pigment that we see here will start to come up. And as it comes up, it will feel tight and it will get drier, so you need to keep it lubricated. Day 3, and the great thing about FRAXEL is its predictability. So by day 3, the skin starts to come off. So it's not peeling, it's actually creating this lifting of this necrotic debris. And then day 4, you'll see almost absence of it. But what we say is it takes probably up to a week to see that clearance. And so what you would be looking at is something like this when you actually have the 1927 wavelength. So you've got lots of freckles, and then at the end, it usually takes about a week, you get this kind of clearing of those freckles and pigmentation, and the skin looks more youthful because of it. The 1550 wavelength, which is going to be able to help with lines and wrinkles, is going to create a little bit of inflammation, and that inflammation is there for about 2 days, so a little bit puffy. And as we treat around the cheeks, if it's puffy around the eye, you'd need to sleep upright for a few nights just to help with that. And we don't want to take the heat out of the skin, because some of the heat that we put in is going to create new collagen, and so massaging would actually help. And I can do a treatment for you which incorporates both wavelengths on the same day. So I can do the 1550 first, and then I can do the 1927 immediately after. And so you get the benefit of both wavelengths. How does that sound?
That's perfect.
Okay. So you would need to have more than one treatment. We can do one treatment and then we can review it again. But most people, because we're only treating a percentage of the skin, will need to have more than one. And normally it would be 4 to 5 treatments given at monthly intervals. How does that sound?
That's perfect.
Okay, so we'll go through the consent form then.
Okay.